Now, from the Lowcountry's news leader, this is Live 5 News.
And good Monday morning. We are waking up to some cool temperatures, but much milder than the last few mornings.
You're taking a live look right now over downtown Charleston. Absolutely beautiful. It's clear right now, but you might want to grab the rain gear for later today.
Yeah, meteorologist Sovine, he's in the First Alert Weather Center right now, getting us started with this new week. It feels good out there.
It feels a whole lot better than the past couple mornings, doesn't it? Temperatures over the past few days have been starting out in the 20s and 30s. A look at the temperature map right now, and you can see 40s and 50s, so we're not bundled up quite as much. It was a cold weekend, especially in the morning. Some nice afternoons, though. Today, a different story. The clouds have already increased. In fact, there have even been a couple of sprinkles. There are a couple of very light showers out there this morning. Moving from west to east, we do not expect a lot of rain. Most of this will stay to our west, at least for the bulk of the day. But if you're farther inland, that's where we expect the higher rain chance. The closer you are to I-95, better chance of showers today. It'll range from about a 30% chance of rain at the coast to about 70% near I-95. So there's a much better chance the farther inland you go. Temperatures today will be in the mid-60s this afternoon. We do expect a mostly cloudy sky. So that's kind of the one drawback to the warmer temperatures this morning. We'll talk about more changes on the way in our forecast for the week ahead coming up in just a couple minutes.
It is a busy week for presidential candidates here in South Carolina, but especially right here in the Holy City.
Yeah, the Charleston area hosting several events ahead of the Democratic primary election, with the first kicking off tonight.
Nevada caucus winner Senator Bernie Sanders will appear at the Memminger Auditorium tonight for CNN's first town hall in Charleston. Pete Buttigieg and Tom Steyer will take the stage right after. Originally, Mike Bloomberg was also scheduled to attend, but his campaign says he'll be delaying the appearance to prepare for Tuesday's debate.
Now, his campaign says Bloomberg will now join CNN Wednesday for a live Q&A program. Joe Biden, Senators Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren, they will take the stage Wednesday for this town hall. Now, voters keeping a close and sharp eye on candidates visiting our state ahead of South Carolina's Democratic primary Saturday.
Lillian Donahue has more on the most recent campaign visits and what voters say it will take to win in the Palmetto State.
Two presidential hopefuls, Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden, both made stops this weekend here in the Lowcountry, going to churches around Charleston. Joe Biden attended Royal Missionary Baptist Church, while Buttigieg went to the First Baptist Church on James Island. Both Biden and Buttigieg spoke to crowds about the impact black voters have on the election, since 60% of likely Democratic voters in South Carolina are African American. Undecided voters I spoke with said that they're waiting to see what candidates do and say while in Charleston this week for town halls and the debate before making any decisions.
Still waiting to hear that right thing, apparently. A lot of key issues: housing, health care. Those are important to me.
South Carolina is important because there's a lot of growth here, but we still need a lot of changes.
The debate will be on Tuesday, hosted by CBS News and the Congressional Black Caucus Institute. Reporting in the newsroom, Lillian Donahue, Live 5 News.
And as Lillian said, the next Democratic debate is here in Charleston tomorrow. It's being held at the Gilliard Center and being hosted by Gayle King and Norah O'Donnell. You can submit questions they will be asking the 7 candidates through Twitter, which is also a debate sponsor. Just use the hashtag DemDebate to do so. You can also watch the debate right here on WCSC tomorrow at 8.
And President Donald Trump will also be in the Lowcountry this week. He's holding a rally Friday at the North Charleston Coliseum. The event is free to attend, but tickets are on a first-come, first-served basis. We have a link on where you can get one on our website, live5news.com. Just look under the big red box. The rally is Friday at 7 p.m. And stay with Live 5 News and tune in all week for your campaign 2020 coverage. We'll be following all of these events and much more as we lead up to the first in the South primary voting. And on Saturday, we'll be bringing you the latest from across the state as those votes roll in. Polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Right now, we are working to learn the name of the suspect who led police on a chase through North Charleston and Mount Pleasant. North Charleston police say they got a report of a stolen car right near Tanger Outlets yesterday afternoon. The victim says they followed their stolen car until police were able to catch up. After attempting to stop the driver, police say they were led onto 526 toward Mount Pleasant, and that's when they say the suspect crashed into another car near Highway 17. No word on how that other driver is doing.
No charges are expected to be filed after a deadly motorcycle crash in Dorchester County. Highway Patrol says that crash happened just after 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon at the intersection of Highway 78 and Highway 15. Troopers say the driver of the motorcycle ran a red light and was hit by a car. Highway Patrol says the driver of that motorcycle was not wearing a helmet and died. The identity of the victim has not been released. An autopsy is scheduled tomorrow for a man who was found dead in a house fire in Harleyville. Firefighters, they were called to a home on Second Bend Road Friday. The Dorchester County Coroner's Office says 73-year-old Avery Brown was found dead after the fire. Right now, it's unclear how Brown died.
Up next, a convicted murderer is on the run out of Alabama when prison officials say he escaped.
And a shooting at a Texas flea market leaves several people injured. How one man says it all happened.
Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
4:40 right now. Good Monday morning to you. Meteorologist Joey Sovine. Hope you had a great weekend. Let's start the work week out talking about our weather this morning. And right now we're looking much better than yesterday. If you're not a fan of the really cold temperatures that we had over the past 2 mornings. This morning we're at 50 in Mount Pleasant, 53 in downtown Charleston, 53 degrees out on Folly Beach. By the way, this weekend we got down to 32 degrees in downtown Charleston. That was the first time in over 700 days. So it's been a long time coming. Very cold start to our weekend days, but once again, those temperatures moderating this morning. So rather than really having to bundle up the kids as they head off to school, they definitely need the jackets or the coats early on today, but it's just not as chilly out there. In fact, compared to yesterday morning, we're up about 20 degrees. Some of you even more than 20 degrees. So that's a trend that I think you'll like this morning. Mostly cloudy sky. Now, it does come with the price because we do have more clouds and also the chance of a little bit of rain today. Don't expect it to be terribly wet, but there will be a few showers kind of off and on and any time during the day. The majority of the day will be dry, especially near the coast. The best rain chance is going to be inland. A couple of light showers northern side of Lake Moultrie, also up into Georgetown County. Right now, fairly dry out there. The streets should be good to go as you head into work this morning, but we just can't rule out a few showers. See lots of rain back to the west. Most of this will stay west of us for at least the next 12 hours, but going to tonight and into tomorrow, the rain chance increases further. Here's a look at future tracker. Lots of clouds, not much rainfall, but there will be a few showers, especially later this morning toward lunchtime. Now, notice the highest concentration of green here, indicating where the rain is. That's going to be inland away from the coast. So from Somerville, Moncks Corner down to Walterboro, back towards King Street, and then towards I-95 and westward. That's where shower chances are much, much higher today. Along the coast, there will be some rain there too, but it just won't be as widespread or maybe as long lasting as what we'll see inland. Go into tonight, we start out dry, but inevitably overnight, those showers start to head our way, and it does look like it could be a pretty damp start on our Tuesday. I think as the morning wears on and we go into the afternoon, the rain chance will go down, but still can't rule out 1 or 2 showers. So today, we're looking at high temperatures that will range inland areas west of I-95 where you stay in the clouds, better rain chance in the 50s there, closer to the coast, low to mid 60s, maybe even upper 60s out toward the coastline, and then mainly cloudy tomorrow. Showers likely, temperatures up a little bit. Once again, that best rain chance will be early in the morning. High tomorrow around 70. On Wednesday around 70 as well. So you may think we finally broke this colder weather pattern. Well, cold front comes through Wednesday, and then look at the 50s back for high temperatures with morning lows in the 30s starting on Friday.
Around the South, deputies in North Carolina are looking for a man they say is responsible for killing 3 people. The Bladen County Sheriff's Office is looking for Tarian Johnson. They say he went into a home and shot 4 people before leaving the scene. Those killed range in ages from 27 to 60 years old. The sole survivor is said to be doing okay. Deputies say Johnson is now in the National Criminal Information Center as a wanted person. And a convicted murderer is on the run out of Alabama. The state's Department of Corrections says Daniel Minor escaped from a work release center. Officials say he's been missing from the facility outside of Birmingham since bed check on Saturday night. According to the jail's website, Minor was sentenced to life in prison after being convicted of murder in 1994.
Multiple people are recovering this morning after a shooting at a flea market in the Houston area. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says one person was shot in the leg and 6 others were injured when that bullet ricocheted off the ground. Now the sheriff says the flea market was packed with people, including kids, because a dance was going on. He says one person is in custody, but told officials the shooting was an accident after it went off while it was in his pocket. Officials are still working to determine if that man's story is true. Out of Georgia, 6 people, 3 of those children are dead following a head-on crash. Police say this happened in Liberty County around 2 yesterday morning. They say a 77-year-old man was found dead in one car and a family of 5. They were found dead in another car involved. The Georgia State Patrol identified 5 victims as a family from Virginia. They say the youngest of those victims was either 4 or 5 years old.
A 15-month-old out of Tennessee is still missing despite 2 arrests being made in connection to the case and hundreds of tips coming in. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation tweeted another photo, this photo of Evelyn Boswell, and mentioned at least 375 tips have come in about her. Evelyn's grandmother, who you see on your left, Angela Boswell, and William McLeod are due in court today after being found in North Carolina Friday with a stolen car reported in the Amber Alert for Evelyn. The National Transportation and Safety Board is investigating after a plane in Georgia crashed shortly after taking off. This is video as the NTSB worked to remove the wreckage from a field yesterday afternoon in Richmond County. Officials say the plane rolled through a wired fence and across a road before stopping. They say the pilot only had minor injuries.
Looking ahead to this week, a new Krispy Kreme location is set to open tomorrow in Ladson. The famous Hot Now sign will be lighting up the corner of Ladson Road and Palmetto Commerce Parkway. And to celebrate, more than 100 random people, they're going to be given a golden ticket at checkout during the first week of opening. Winners will get a free dozen glazed donuts every month for a year.
Also tomorrow, a new library for neonatal families at the Somerville Medical Center will be opening. The medical center is teaming up with the Somerville Rotary Club to bring literacy to the smallest patients. As part of the library program, each NICU family will go home with their own copy of a book called Brown Bear. The ribbon cutting ceremony is tomorrow at 2 p.m.
After the break, when the jury is expected to reconvene to decide the fate of disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein.
And the deadly coronavirus is continuing to spread the country that could be the next hotspot for the illness.
Now, your first alert forecast from Live 5 News.
Well, it's 4:49 on our Monday morning. Let's get updated on our weather real quickly so you can head out the door and know what to expect. Temperatures this morning, big change. Start out with live Super Doppler Max here because we do have a couple very light showers. A morning to take the umbrellas just in case. Most of you won't have to use it. We're going to start out fairly dry, but there may be a couple raindrops out on the cars from a few passing very, very light showers overnight. More rain back to the west. That gradually starts to head our way as we head through today and especially into tonight and tomorrow. Temperature-wise today, we're looking at temperature starting out about 50. Remember, the past couple of mornings we've been in the 20s and 30s, so you probably heard the heat didn't kick on nearly as much as it did throughout the weekend overnight. And temperatures today will go up in the low to mid 60s for highs this afternoon. It will be warmer tomorrow. And then we track a cold front headed our way for Wednesday. We'll talk about all that and the rain chances coming up in just a little bit. Michael?
Joey, thank you. Jury deliberations in the Harvey Weinstein trial will resume this morning, and this will be the 5th day jurors will be discussing the charges facing the disgraced movie mogul. Before breaking on Friday, the jurors indicated there's a chance they could be deadlocked on some of those charges. The jury asked the New York judge if they can be hung on 1 or 2 counts listed in the indictment, namely the predatory sexual assault charge, while reaching a unanimous decision on the rest. The judge urged them to keep deliberating and to reach a verdict. Regardless of the outcome, Weinstein will still face rape and sexual assault charges in Los Angeles. The judge that sentenced Roger Stone to 40 months in prison says she will not remove herself from the case. Federal Judge Amy Berman Jackson says there's no legal justification for taking her off. Stone and President Trump says she's biased, but Jackson says she's considering Stone's request for a new trial after he accused a juror of impartiality. Stone was sentenced for his conviction on 7 charges, including witness tampering and making false statements.
Arguments over whether WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange should be brought back to the U.S. for trial are set to begin today. He faces charges including planning to hack government computers and violating an espionage law. Assange was arrested in April of last year at an Ecuadorian embassy due to extradition warrants in the U.S. Assange has been cast as both a free speech crusader as well as a security threat for his role in major leaks of classified records. The inner-city bus service company Greyhound taking a stance in the U.S. immigration battle. The company says it will not allow Customs and Border Protection agents to search its buses without a warrant. In a statement, Greyhound says it will provide its employees with new training to follow the policy change. The company says its main goal and concern is the safety of its passengers and believes this new policy will help improve the travel experience for all customers.
The coronavirus is continuing to spread fast and beyond China. The deadly virus is spiking in South Korea now with more than 760 reported cases now. Remy Inocencio is in Seoul with more on the precautions taking place.
These empty streets of Daegu, South Korea's fourth biggest city, could be the world's next coronavirus hotspot. Anxious residents avoiding public spaces have turned the city quieter as health officials try to disinfect and contain the epidemic. Just from Friday to Sunday, the number of infected across South Korea nearly tripled. More than half of those from a controversial Christian sect known as Shincheonji. South Korea's President Moon Jae-in singled them out when he declared a red alert, raising the country's threat level to the highest possible, giving the government unprecedented power. That could include locking down cities, including the capital Seoul, if the situation gets worse. And the World Health Organization has further weighed in, saying the window to stop coronavirus from turning into a pandemic is closing. Half a world away in Italy, the sleepy village of Codogno in the north is now under lockdown after at least 6 confirmed cases. While in Iran, at least 8 people have died. That's raising fears the country is not equipped to handle a potential health crisis after years of crippling U.S. economic sanctions. Chinese officials warn the incubation period for the disease could be longer than the 14 days previously thought, raising concerns current quarantine efforts may not be enough. Remy Inocencio, CBS News, Seoul.
The total number of coronavirus cases worldwide is now more than 79,000, with more than 2,600 deaths being reported. Here in the United States, at least 35 cases have been confirmed, with half coming from the Diamond Princess cruise ship following their evacuations. Meanwhile, White House officials are expected to ask Congress for emergency funding this week in order to battle the coronavirus here in the U.S. Government aides worked throughout the weekend on the supplemental request, which is still not final but could be sent to Capitol Hill as soon as today. The exact amount of funding that is expected to be requested is not yet known.
A memorial service for the late Kobe Bryant and his daughter is happening today in Los Angeles. The celebration of the NBA star's life will be at the Staples Center, where he played with the Lakers. Kobe, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others died in a helicopter crash last month. The date of today's service is also significant, February 24th, as Kobe wore 24 and as Gianna wore the jersey number 2. Thousands of people are expected to attend, and NBA TV will also broadcast that service.
I'm Sonic, a little ball of super energy in an extremely handsome package.
It was a close finish, but Sonic the Hedgehog held on to the #1 spot this weekend at the box office. The video game-based film raced off with $26.3 million in its second week in theaters, breaking the $100 million barrier for total earnings.
Harrison Ford and his CGI-enhanced dog named Buck debuted in theaters in second place. Call of the Wild, based on the Jack London novel, that brought in nearly $25 million. And Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, dropped to third place this weekend. The film brought in $7 million in its third week. Coming up at the top of the hour, Danielle Seat. She's live in downtown Charleston, where Democratic presidential candidates are preparing today for a town hall.
All right, and we're keeping an eye on the radar this morning. It's back to work and back to some rain for some of you this morning. We'll talk about our rain chances and changes on the way. Temperatures for our temperatures this week. More on that coming up. Abby.
And I am watching your roadways right now. Things looking great out on I-26, but we will of course let you know if anything could impact your morning drive. Stay with us. We'll be right back.